Hello my gamers and tax evaders alike. The internet can be a dark, scary, and dangerous place. Oftentimes people will put a little too much information about themselves on it, and much to their surprise, people will fuck with them. Don't know how people keep making this fucking mistake. I mean, Jesus, the fucking trolling that people will do is absolutely insane. They do not give a shit about you. These are people that are so disconnected from reality and the rest of society, they just want to fuck with people. We saw this with Christian for the past, decade and a half? We saw this with the kid who committed suicide, and the parents accidentally wrote "Ann Hero" on the website, and then got harassed for the next decade, just people messaging them saying, Ann Hero, Ann Hero, to the point where even myself, Ann Hero is just synonymous with suicide. You tell somebody to commit Ann Hero, they kind of know what it means, intuitively. Now, back when I was in high school, I was starting to get into the internet more. I was never really a big internet user beforehand. I'd played RuneScape, but I never fucked around with forums. I never did anything like that. I started to get into Reddit, and then Reddit eventually led to 4chan, although it's not that direct. I started using Reddit first because a friend, and then I heard about 4chan, and then I had friends in high school who started using 4chan, so I started using 4chan a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. And I was an impressionable youth, so it was... I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole with that, although I don't think I ever went too far with 4chan, to be honest with you. And people talk about 4chan like it's some mystical fucking deity. It's just a website where everyone is anonymous. That's it. Anybody can post on it. Everybody is anonymous. That's what the fucking website is. It's just an anonymous message board. Image board, rather. But back then, a lot of people would post, phone numbers to like a pizza restaurant and be like, guys, just keep calling them and ask if they have any olives. Just keep asking if they have olives. And people would just call and ask them if they had olives, and the poor staff working there would freak the fuck out and start threatening to call the police on anyone who called them. Crazy shit like that. And so I kind of got this idea in my head that 4chan was kind of a tool that you could use to troll people. And that was not the proper conclusion to come to, because that's not at all what 4chan has ever fucking been, and they don't like being thought of that way. The people that use 4chan don't like being thought of as useful. So I had a friend at the time, and he was basically my best friend. We met in high school, and him and I were pretty little edgy teens. We wanted to do the things like smoke a weed, post on the 4chan and use slurs on video games. We were edgy little fucking shitlords. Was that what they would call people back then? The shitlord? I think that was like the edgy term. Nobody uses that anymore. That one died. That one's gone. I guess that got replaced by edgelord? Was it I think it was something. Anyway, him and I were both users of 4chan at the time, on and off, and he was kind of the one that got me into it. And he was an interesting person. His name was Steve, and back in high school, we liked to give each other nicknames. I would say Steve had like the most nicknames out of all of us. First, he was known as Screwdriver Steve, because during a class period, and I went to a technical high school, he actually tried to attack a kid with a screwdriver because I guess the kid was fucking with him or something. And then he was known as Screwdriver Steve from then on. And then following this, we heard a story from him about how apparently his mom, who was abusive, tried to beat the shit out of him by hitting him over the head with a porcelain bowl, smashing him, if you will. So we started calling him... We started to call him Smashing Steve. Yeah, we were fucking assholes. There was also Urinal, who got his face shoved into... I've told this story before. I'll tell it again. Urinal. He shoved another kid's face into a urinal for selling him fake weed, I'm pretty sure. And then the kid who shoved the kid's face into the urinal started getting called Urinal, rather than the guy who got his face shoved into the urinal, which... It's kind of unfair, I think. I would call the guy who got his face shoved into the urinal. That's just me. I mean, he's the loser who got a fucking face full of urinal water. Anyway, so Steve and I had an interesting relationship. We would send each other a lot of memes, fuck around, try and make each other laugh, say the most outrageous things. And Steve thought that sending pictures of shit to me was really funny. But to me, I could see gore, I could see beheadings, I could see all kinds of fucked up shit. But shit, I could not see. That was where I drew the fucking line. Shit disgusts me still to this day. I can barely even wipe my ass because I have to see that brown shitty stuff all over the paper. It's disgusting. I fucking hate it. Out of all animals, I would say humans make the most disgusting fucking feces. Our fecal matter is second to none. It is disgusting. These giant long... Ugh. So he kept sending me pictures of shit, and I would say, stop sending me pictures of shit, and I would get pissed at him. And so one day, what I decide to do, and this is my biggest mistake right here, is I decide to go on to 4chan and put his phone number onto the image board and say, hey guys, this is my friend, mess with him, call him and text him and stuff, you know, you guys do your thing, whatever, that kind of deal, which doesn't go well, don't do that! And so Steve starts getting texts and calls from random numbers of people sending him, I think pictures of shit is what I asked them to do, I don't even know, just fucked up shit. But Steve wisens up to this because he's also a user of 4chan. So he goes onto the board and he finds the thread that I had created asking people to call him. And Steve is not fucking happy about the fact that I have put his number onto the internet and asked people to harass him. So he links my fucking Facebook account. Now this was actually fucking terrifying for me because all of a sudden my Facebook account is there, and people are now posting screenshots of my face, and I was probably 14 at the time, onto the image board, which was fucking terrifying. And they start just, like, harassing me, making jokes and stuff, saying, like, oh, let's reach out to his school, he's too young, he shouldn't be using this website. You know, let's reach out to his school, let's get his parents. And in a fucking frenzy, I just deactivated my Facebook, which they started laughing about more, like, he deleted his Facebook, what a loser! They start saying all this shit like, you know, again, they're gonna call my school, call my parents, they're gonna send me mail, they're gonna do shit like that and fuck with me, and I'm absolutely shitting my fucking pants. I swear to God, that was probably the scariest moment of my fucking life. I was shaking for 2 hours straight. There was hundreds, I don't know, it could have been hundreds, maybe it was dozens, maybe it was 6 people on the internet that knew me, knew what I looked like, and were threatening me. It's fucking scary. And because it's 4chan, it's not like Reddit where you can just delete the thread or anything. The thread gets archived when people stop posting on it. After people are done posting on it for maybe like an hour or something like that, the thread just gets archived and it's gone. But people kept posting on it because it was fucking hilarious to them. I was really hoping that the admins would just delete the thread, seeing as how they had discovered that I was underage and you have to be 18 to post on 4chan. But they didn't. They banned me. They didn't delete the thread though. They left the thread up, so I kept getting all of these people talking in the thread until eventually, a couple of hours later, the thread got archived and my fucking fears and worries had finally subsided, but I still was worried that they were gonna message my parents or that they were gonna send me mail or call my fucking school. I didn't want any of this. And luckily none of them did anything. It was all just talk. Literally nobody did anything. Nobody messaged my mom or dad. Nothing. Nobody did anything. My ordeal was finally over. Yeah, so that was the time that I got doxxed on 4chan. It's not a fun situation. I don't recommend letting yourself get doxxed on 4chan. It's pretty fucking scary. Anyway, I just wanted to share this story with you because I think it's pretty funny in retrospect, as a lot of the stories are. Things that happen to you that seem scary at the time, but yeah. This will be my final video ever. I will see you all in hell.